morning, all of you. Now, today we are going to study about the Newton's third law of motion. So, some questions are there for before that. So, take a plastic boat and make a hole at its rear end. Okay, so we have to take a plastic boat and make a hole at its one end. Then inflate a balloon to fill a balloon with air and fix it on the hole in the boat. Then release the boat in water. What happens to the boat as the air in the balloon escapes slowly? Why? So what will happen? The boat will move forward, okay, because of the force. So we have learned about force and its effect on an object through Newton's first and second laws of motion. Now, however, in nature, force cannot act alone. Okay, so force is a reciprocal action between two objects. Forces are always applied in pairs. So when one object applies a force on another object, the latter object also simultaneously apply a force on the former object. For example, if one object applies a force on second object, the second object will also apply the force on the first object. So the forces between two objects are always equal and opposite in direction. So this idea is expressed in Newton's third law of motion. The force applied by the first object is called action force, while the force applied by the second object on the first is called reaction force. So in short, what is the Newton's third law of motion? Every action force has an equal and opposite reaction force which acts simultaneously. So this is the Newton's third law. Every action force has an equal and opposite reaction force which acts simultaneously. Now next, law of conservation of momentum. Okay. Now suppose an object A has mass m1 and its initial velocity is u1. An object B has a mass m2 and initial velocity is u2. So actually we are going to see the law of conservation between these two objects having mass m1 and m2 and initial velocity of u1 and u2. Now according to the formula for momentum, the initial momentum of A is m1 u1 and that of B is m2 u2. Suppose these two objects collide or strike each other. So what happened? So let the force, so we are considering that the two objects collide or strike each other. Okay. So let the force on A object due to B be F1. So what happened here? Let the force on A because of B object be F1. This force will cause acceleration in A and its velocity will become V1. So this is the V1 is the final velocity. So now we can write momentum of A after collision is equal to m1 v1. According to Newton's third law of motion, A also exert an equal force on B. First, what happened? Force was exerted on A by B. Now A also exert for equal force on B, but in the opposite direction. So now it is in the opposite direction. This will cause a change in the momentum of B. If its velocity after collision is v2, then the momentum of B after collision is equal to m2 v2. So we have seen the momentum of A m1 v1 in the first case. Now the momentum of B after collision will be m2 v2. Now if F2 is the force that acts on object B, okay, so if F2 is the force that acts on B, so we can write that F2 is equal to minus F1. Already we have seen that if one object is striking other object, the other object will also strike the first object but in the opposite direction. So that is the reason why we have written this negative sign. Okay. So now writing m2a2, what is a moment? This m2 is mass, acceleration. Okay, force is equal to mass into acceleration. So I am writing here F2 instead of F2 I am writing here m2a2. Okay, as we know that F is equal to m1, so I am writing F2 instead of F2 I am writing m2a2 is equal to minus F1. So instead of F1 I am writing M1 A1. Okay, understood? No? Now just counts this we will write now this M2 is nothing but M2 as it is. Okay, then A2, we know that a acceleration is nothing but v minus u upon t. We have seen in the previous case acceleration is v minus u upon t. So instead of A2 I am writing here v2 minus u2 upon t. Okay, is equal to m1 as it is minus m1 as it is into, again acceleration I am writing instead of a1 v1 minus u1 upon t. Okay, so as we know that a acceleration is nothing v upon u upon v minus u upon t. Now m2 as it is. Okay, now what will happen is this t and this t that get cut, t and t. So I am writing m2 is nothing but v2 minus u2 is equal to m1 as it is, then v1 minus u1. Okay, now multiply this outside the bracket, m2 into v2 is m2 v2 minus m2. I am multiplying this m2 by this 2. Okay, so m2 minus m2 I am writing here m2 v2. Okay, is equal to minus, again multiply m1 by this both factor. Now m1 v1 this minus will become plus, so m1 as it is and this is u1. Okay, now what I am going to do, now I will just arrange the line. So m2 v2 minus m2 u2 is equal to minus m1 v1 plus m1 u1. This we have seen this. Now arrange this like terms and unlike terms. So m2 v2, then where is v1? I have taken this m1 minus will become plus if it will shift. When we are shifting this minus m1 v1, so in this side it will become plus minus m1 plus m1 v1 is equal to, now m1 u1 as it is, m1 u1 as it is, and I am taking this m2 u2 in this side of that, so it will become plus, so m2 u2. So we got final this one, m2 v2 plus m1 v1 is equal to m1 u1 plus m2 u2. So what is now the magnitude? The magnitude of total final momentum is equal to the magnitude of total initial momentum. Okay, so this is final momentum is equal to initial momentum. So thus, if no external force is acting on two objects, then their total initial momentum is equal to their total final momentum. This statement is true for any number of objects. So we'll stop here. Thank you.